Okay, just a quick warning before we get further in this video. This is going to be a very sloppy, chopped up mess. On top of having a crappy voice on a usual day and having a cold on this day, hey, this is my very first time making an audio recorded video for YouTube, and I trip over my tongue way too many times, and I have to do retakes and chop the videos together, and it's just a mess. I apologize and understand completely if you don't go any further than this. However, literally no one in the Warhammer 40k community have brought this up, at least not on any videos I follow. Hello, so if you want to share this idea with a more popular and better spoken YouTubers to follow Warhammer 40k, feel free. The idea is up for grabs. I do not YouTube for money. I do it purely for entertainment purposes only, and I am not hoarding this idea to myself by any means. Now for the first chop. Hello, YouTube. We have heard about many different alt heresies in the time of the Warhammer 40k fandom. We have also heard various YouTubers talk about what would happen if a character from a different story ended up in the 40k universe. But something I've always found interesting is what would happen if a Primarch ended up landing on a different Primarch's homeworld. And that is going to be the source material of this new series of mine. And now, future episodes will be elected by popular vote. And I'm going to use a Primarch more than once because just making 9 videos would be incredibly short and would miss a lot of good stories and what-if scenarios. However, the one rule I have is that depending on which episode we play first, that dictates the next episode, as it will be the Primarch from that planet originally landing on the first Primarch's homeworld. And for my first episode, I've decided to go with what if Angron landed on Nostramo. Now, everyone likes to talk about what happened if a Primarch from a bad planet landed on a good planet, but I honestly think that swapping Angron and Conrad would be the best benefit to the galaxy overall, or at least for the Imperium. Because even though their respective planets did have a very big hand in shaping their personalities, who they are at their core dictates how they would adapt and survive on these different planets. So, to begin our episode earnestly, how would Angron survive on Nostramo? We're just going to assume that he landed on the planet in the same manner as Conrad, meaning burrowing into the mantle, only having to claw his way out, and eventually he does come into contact with the criminal element that Nostramo is popular for. But how would he respond to it in a manner that differs from Conrad? Because Conrad was the Emperor's sense of justice, whereas Angron, in a very interesting twist of fate, was not the Emperor's rage, as most would think, but rather his empathy. Before the Butcher's nails became a factor, he was actually known for his ability to remove another being's pain and take it upon himself. So I can see him having much more empathy than the likes of Conrad Kurz, and now he still isn't Vulcan levels of kind and compassionate, but I can see him falling in with a more sympathetic criminal element. And a key example off the top of my head is one of Conrad's more popular murderings on Nostramo is killing a woman who stole some bread to feed her starving children. Angron would definitely not do this. Hell, he would probably just steal more food for people like her, but probably not as often. But however, he is not nearly as stealthy as Conrad Kurz, so he's definitely going to get into a lot more direct combat situations, and when Conrad was young, he was actually wounded by a human with an autogun and forced to flee. He almost died, and Angron would definitely take on more serious injuries because he wouldn't run away. He would definitely stay and fight. And while he would probably win, as he is a much more durable Primarch than the likes of Conrad, it would still leave him grievously hurt. Now, I don't know if Nostramo has any arena similar to New Syria, but it is very likely that he would end up getting captured by a gang and used as a combat tank like a domesticated Angron. He would probably even be mistaken for such by the ignorant. However, Primarchs are also known for radiating importance, for lack of a better term, so whoever ends up grabbing him would definitely know instinctively that there is more to this very angry child than meets the eye. He would probably end up getting accepted into a gang and would probably work his way up the ladder in the usual gang wars, would probably reforge the gang into something more honorable, and less likely to be the cutthroat gangers known to Nostramo, and would eventually end up butting heads with the nobility. Now, at this point, the story would probably mirror how it goes with New Syria, but for one key difference. Nostramo does not, to my knowledge, have anything remotely resembling the Butcher's Nails, so Angron is definitely going to be far more tactical in his approach to waging war on superior opponents. And he was pretty smart on New Syria, and that was when he was enduring the savagery of the Butcher's Nails. He was also trying to corral a horde of gladiators, some of which also had the Butcher's Nails. So his options for tactical maneuvers were very limited on New Syria. They would not be on Nostramo, and considering he's part of a Nostraman gang, he would definitely become far more tactical and even underhanded. He would go from gladiator king to mafia boss, basically. So not only is he more tactical, but the might makes right mentality of most underhivers would cause more and more gangs to flock towards his banner, and would eventually tear the numerical advantage away from the nobility and overpower them. So without the nails, he would probably most likely have conquered Nostramo on his own by the time the Emperor arrived. Now, at this point, he is ruling Nostramo with an iron fist. Courage and honor are his backbone mentality, which he would in turn scale down to his people. If the Emperor discovers him, there is no bad blood between them, and I'm pretty sure he would end up agreeing to go along with the Emperor, no problem. No problem. Which brings us to our next topic. Now that he is off of Nostramo and leading the 12th Legion, what changes? A lot. The 12th Legion, before being discovered by Angron, was known as the Warhounds, and they were basically everything the Black Templars wished they were. On account of not having lost his people to the Emperor's in carelessness, as he would not have any reason to kill the Legion Master Gear and the other higher-ups, or even greater leaders than the likes of Karn. And so Karn is still there, everyone above Karn is still there, and Nostramo is Angron's homeworld, which means the likes of Sevatar, Talos Valkorin, and the War Sage, I forget his actual name, are all now part of the 12th Legion. To make matters worse, or better depending on your perception, Karn and Sevatar would be dueling each other daily, almost, so it's very likely that Karn would end up becoming just as underhanded in his approach to combat, making him a far deadlier adversary to anyone he goes up against. Sevatar is the only one who ever beat Sigismund one-on-one because he's a cheating prick, like all the best Night Lords are. And now that's exactly what all the best World Eaters are. Underhanded criminal punks with super soldier serum coursing through their veins. So they're basically the Emperor's enforcers. Angron is Mr. Fix-It. And with this in mind, I honestly cannot see him falling to chaos in this alternate reality, and he would probably end up the MVP of the Great Crusade because of how overpowered his legion is for having all the best World Eaters and all the best Night Lords. And being a much more tactical and underhanded legion. So yeah, he has a much more powerful legion. He himself is more powerful because he actually knows how to think and use strategy, and he remained loyal to the Imperium. One last difference to cover is how he would look. The Angron we know and love has the butcher's nails very visible in his brain. At least I think this is the butcher's nails. The fact that Perturabo has those mechanical dreadlock things too kind of leaves that up to debate. But he's also known for his bronze-colored skin because apparently Nuceria is a very hot place to be. Nostramo, not so much. He would have the same pale skin and black pools for eyes that Conrad is most known for. However, any depiction I hear of Angron having normal hair says he's a redhead. Fiery red hair and all of that. He would probably have dark red hair, almost like a darker shade than blood, in the same long, wavy pattern as Conrad, but probably not. And another difference is, because he is more tactical, I don't see him rocking Gorefather and Gorcha, as he would want more effective weapons on the battlefield than just to turn everything to red mist. This kind of weapons. I don't think he'd end up with the same power clause as Conrad, but I'm just gonna leave that one up to the imagination. Okay, I think that'll do it. Again, I apologize for how amateurish this video is. Again, the only reason I'm making it is because no one else is. If you want someone better to do this kind of video, feel free to send them a link to this video so they start pondering the idea themselves. If not, I will see you in episode 2, which is what would happen if Conrad Kurz landed on Nuceria. Goodbye, YouTube.